Would you know your rhyme, Mum, to say it on the camera?
What?
Would you know your rhyme, the house with nobody in it?
What rhyme?
The house with nobody in it.
Why, who wants to know?
Eamon will take you.
You ready, Eamon?
Yeah.
As I walk on the road to Suffern, along the area track, this is how long ago when we left it. I go by a poor old farmhouse with its shingles broken and black. I suppose I've passed it 100 times, but I always stop for a minute to look at that house, that tragic house, that house with nobody in it. This house on the road to Suffern needs a dozen panes of glass, and somebody ought to weed the walks and take a side to the grass. It needs new paintings and shingles, and the vines should be trimmed and tied. But what it needs the most of all is some people living inside. If I had a lot of money and all my debts were paid, I'd put a gang of men to work with brush and saw and spade. I'd buy that place and I'd fix it up the way it ought to be. And I'd find some people wanting a home and give it to them free. Now a new house standing empty, with staring window and door, looks idle, perhaps and foolish, like a hat on its block in the store. But a house that has done what a house should do, a house that has sheltered life, has put its wooden arms around many a man and his wife, a house that has echoed a baby's laugh and held up its stumbling feet, is the saddest sight when it's left alone that e'er your eyes could meet. Is the saddest sight when it's left alone when e'er your eyes could meet.
No, Kira.
Every year when I come home and I seen that house, and then I was one day downtown and I went into a charity shop. I thought I'll buy something. I often send things to it. So I went in and I seen a cheese dish, biggish one with a lid. So I said I'd have that. And you know, they don't have bags or wrapping up paper in charity shops. She went and she got a newspaper and she rolled it all up in the lid. And I took it home under my arm. And as I was taking it out, I seen this verse along the side of it. And I read it. And I cried my eyes out. And I learned it off. And I never forgot it.
There you go.
No, that's a story for your great-grandchild.
Yeah.
Now then.
No, Kira.
And you won't forget it
He
now
does
either.
sound effects.